Alrighty, kids. Hey, so let's check this out. Let's go. Oh, by the way, all of this stuff can be found at www.nkinfinity.com. As I was preparing to view and work with you today, I realized there was actually a mistake in this exam, and it was actually driving me sort of crazy. Because I hate when there's a question that I clearly can see came from the state and there was a mistake, but it was not the mistake on the state, it was our mistake. We just put the wrong multiple choice answers, and that was with question 21. So if you downloaded this file before, and you found out you couldn't get the right answer for 21, there's a reason for that. But anyway, all of these can be found at www.nkinfinity. I don't know what I did with it. I think it's this one. Oh, no, it's not this one. That actually, whatever. There it is. And, oh, that's not it. Whatever. NK Infinity, you'll find it. Eventually, you'll find it. Anyway, let's get moving. Let's get rocking and rolling. Let's roll and rock. We're on 13. What is the period? Well, first of all, a formula. Period is equal to 2 pi over b. What is b? Well, this is a, this is b, and this is c here. There is no c in this case. A c is a shift up and down, right? A b just tells us how many, b is our frequency. How many curves in 2 pi? So period is equal to 2 pi over b. B is 6. That's pi over 3. Done. Am I recording? Are you with me? You're with me. Good. What is the equation of a circle that passes through this point? Well, okay, wait. It passes through this point, but centered at this one. And remember, when you put the center in, the point's going backwards. So we're going to look for a -3 and a +4. So these, we're trying to trick you if you use the wrong point. So now what we got to do is figure out which one of these is correct. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do that, the hard way and the easy way. The hard way is to come over here and plot this thing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't really have to plot this, by the way. 6, 5, where am I going? 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you really just need to find that distance, because that distance is your radius. Right? Because really what you got here is a big old circle. So we'll go, we'll do a little bit of Pythagorean theorem. So this distance here is 3, and this distance here is 9. So I'll do 3 squared plus 9 squared equals radius squared. Well, lo and behold, that's what I want over here, radius squared. So 3 squared is 9. 9 plus 81 is, in fact, 90. I'm looking for 90. So this is, in fact, the right answer. Now, how can I do that using my graphing calculator and a little cheating? All right, so we'll go over here to our graphing calculator. We'll go into graph mode. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but on this calculator, you can graph a circle. Go here and graph templates, and we'll go right to circle. And there is the first one's in center radius form, or if you get it in general form or standard form, there it is. But this is in center radius form. So I'll put the center in. You got to be careful. The sign's going different. So -3. Where am I going? All right, I'm just click right here since I don't like that. And then -4. And radius squared. Now that's where you got to be careful. The radius is the square root of this. So you actually have to put in the square root of 90, because the square root of 90 squared is 90, right? So that's kind of where that's a little bit tricky. Click OK. Whoa! So what you get is this circle. Let's see if I can go over the table. Let's see if it'll give me a table of values. There are no functions to display. Okay, so it's not going to give me the table of values. I thought it would, but it doesn't. So I need to plot a point. I think I could plot a point. Graph, plot, table, geometry. Points and lines. Point. I need to plot. It said it goes to the point 6,5, right? I wonder if I can change that point. 5, Oh, 6.5. There it is. I can just change the point. 6.5. And there it goes. It goes to the point 6.5. All right, that's it. It's not that easy, I guess. So I tried to trick you on this problem. The formula to use to determine a competent blah, 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 where A is the amount of money accrued. Nobody understands what accrued. Oh, it didn't say accrued. Amount of money in the account. P is the initial amount. R is the interest rate. T is time in years. And here we go. All right, so A equals, do we know our initial amount? We're going to start with 18 grand. That goes in for there. E, my rate is 0.0125. Remember, if this is less than 10, it's going to be 0.0. Don't forget, divide by 100. That'll give you the rate over 24 months. Now, if you put 24 in there, tricked ya, tricked ya, tricked ya, you must be careful. This says month. It says T is in years. Be careful of the units on this test. They will get you every time. 24 months is 2 years. Choice 2. What is the solution? Again, on this question, I think I might just check my answers. Now, I'm going to tell you right now the answer is 2, and I don't even have to do any work because I know I can't put 3 in there. It better be 2 because I know I cannot put 3 in there. It just won't work. But I'm going to show you the mathematics. It could be this one too, but it's not. So the common denominator is x minus 3 and x plus 3. So that one doesn't change. This one becomes x minus 3, x plus 3. I don't know why I keep saying that backwards and writing it that way, but it's x plus 3, x minus 3 equals. Now this one is missing the x plus 3. So I'm going to multiply this by x plus 3. Now this is the mathematical approach. Once I have that, all I have to do is set the numerators equal to each other because it becomes a nice new equation. So I get 30 plus x squared minus 9 equals 5x plus 15. Everything's coming to the left, so it's x squared. Let's see, this is 21, and then I'm going to end up subtracting 15. So that's, well, this is minus 5x. And then, so 21 minus 15 is plus 6. So my two answers are, well, I'm going to end up factoring x minus 2, x minus 3 equals 0. But x equals 2 and x equals 3 are my answers. But if you were to plug in 3, let me show you what happens when you plug in 3. If you go 3 control var x, and you type in either side, actually I'll just type in the right side just to show you. It's the same answer would happen on the left side. If you type this on the left side, you'd get this same answer, or this same result. Actually, you're not going to get an answer. You're going to get an undefined. And it's undefined because you have 0 in the denominator. Now, your calculator might say divide by 0 error, whatever. A fraction is undefined when the denominator equals 0. So you should have known that 3 can't go into it. 17. So this is my original function. And I'm doing a transformation. Now, be careful. That is not this, negative f of x. If this was the case, then choice 3 would be the answer because this would be a reflection in the x-axis. However, when you put the negative on the inside, that's actually a reflection in the y-axis, and that's why choice 1 is the right answer. Just remember that, okay? This is a reflection. I'm going to make a video card. I'm going to make a flashcard for that. This is a reflection in the y-axis, right? This is a reflection in the x-axis. This is turning out to be the biggest pain in the neck, and you don't even know it. I just spent like 20 minutes working on this problem and trying to find out where the mistake was. I finally found it. I believe yours says vertex here. It should say focus here. We'll see. Yeah, let's check this out. Let's make sure that this is right. So in order to do this, you got to find your two distances. Distance between, I'm going to show you an easy way and a hard way to do this problem. Hopefully we get through both of them. So so distance is equal to y minus the directrix. Well, that's -5, so that's y plus 5. And my other distance is going to be equal to the distance between the some point x, y on the graph and our focus. So x minus -3, which is 3 squared, plus y minus -3 squared, that's plus. So now I just got to set these two distances equal each other. Y plus 5 equals the square root of x plus 3 squared plus y plus 3 squared. Okay, square both sides. If I seem aggravated, it's because this problem is making me mad. It shouldn't be this hard to make a problem right. I thought we fixed this in the when we were error checking them, but apparently we must have missed this one. Now, I know we fixed it. I don't know if we just didn't fix it in the problem. So this should be y squared plus 10y plus 25 is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 9. All I'm doing is double distributing all these, writing them twice and double distributing, plus y squared plus 6y plus 9. All right, here we go. Finally, I think we're getting it. The y squareds cancel. I'm going to bring this 6y over by subtracting 6y. So I get 4y equals x squared plus 6x. Now, over here I have 18. If I subtract 25, I get minus 7. So my final thing is to divide by 4 and divide by 4. So that's kind of tricky the way they wrote it. It's really y equals 1/4 x squared minus 6x minus 7, which makes this the right answer. But let me show you how to use the calculator to verify that it is in fact the right answer, okay? Sorry, I hit the wrong thing. So you come over here and you go into graph mode. And so we're just going to graph this. Control division 1/4. And I've never even shown my kids this. I'll show them in class. X squared. I don't like showing all the tricks at the beginning. I gotta have some fun stuff at the end. 6x minus 7. And if you graph this one, I mean, it just looks like a normal parabola. But what we can do is go into menu, analyze the graph, and analyze a conics. And it says, okay, what's the directrix? Oh, I want to know the directrix of this. Oh, there it is. Y equals 5. Now equals -5. I want to menu, analyze the graph. I want to find the foci, or the focus. There's only one for this one. I click on it. There it is. 3, -3, -3, -3. You want to find the vertex? Okay. Menu, analyze the graph. Find the vertice. Click go there. There's the vertice. All right. So that is it. That's the right answer. Let's keep moving. Given the describe the rate of change 3 to 6. So we're going to do rate of change from 3 to 6. 6 and 3. So this one I'm going to have to do it this way. 3 and 6. Well, this one the change is 1 up and 3 over. So that rate of change for this one is 1/3. The rate of change for this one's a little bit difficult. I got to do 9 minus 3, change in y's, over the change in x's. 6 minus 3. 9 minus 3 over 6 minus 3. This gives me 6 over 3, which is 2. And then I got this h of x over here. I got to do this one as well. Totally didn't even see this one over here. Let me plug in, what are my points? I'm going to plug in 3, see what I get. So 3 squared minus 1. 9 minus 1 is 8. And then I'm going to plug in 6. 6 squared is 36, minus 1 is 35. So now I do change in y's, 35 minus 8 over 6 minus 3. 35 minus 8 is 27, over 3 is 9. H of x has the largest rate of change. There it is. That's it. Finding slope. Rate of change is just slope. All right, so what are we going to do on this one? First of all, we got to figure out what's going on. So on day 1, he ran 1/3. On day 2, he ran 2/3. So it looks like we're adding 1/3 onto that. So if I add 1/3 again, I should get 3/3. And 3/3 is 1. But I don't understand mixed numbers. This drives me crazy. It's 1 and 1/3. But it's really not 1 1/3, really, right? Because we don't understand those. Those are crazy. So really what that is it's 4/3. It's 1, which is 3/3, plus 1/3, which is 4/3. So it's really 4/3. So that's not adding 1/3. Doesn't look like we added, because you added 1/3 here, and now we're adding 2/3, it looks like. So let's see what's going on in the next one. Next one, so 2 is really like 6/3 plus 2/3. That's 8/3. So let's see what's going on. We went from 1/3 to 2/3 to 8/3. So we're actually multiplying by 2 each time, right? So we're going to start. So this is an error. Well, okay, now let me look at these answers. None of these said arithmetic, so that's kind of nice. They're all geometric. And let's see if we plug in. So what we want to do, the formula for geometric is on your formula sheet, is a sub n equals a sub 1 r to the n minus 1. So my starting value is 1/3. So I guess it's probably not these. My starting value is 1/3. My multiplier is 2. There it is. Starting value. There it is, choice 1. And if you plug in a 1, you get this. If you plug in a 2, you get this. If you plug in a 3, you get this, and so on and so forth. All right, moving on. So this problem had an error to begin with. If you check this, look at these answers. If your answers don't match these, I want to apologize. The original document had an error in this, and I'm not sure why it was the way it was. Somehow we missed it and didn't pick it up, but let's get going. So anyway, the mean and standard deviation for this proportion are this and this. Now, it is a proportion. It is a proportion. And in order to find, we're looking for the sample size. So remember, a standard deviation of your sample is equal to, not x bar, sorry, p hat. The reason it's p hat is because it is a proportion, it's not a mean. It is equal to p times 1 minus p over n. So in this case, I want to get 0.04. I'm going to do it over here so it's away from my head. My sample standard deviation is 0.046 is equal to the square root of 0.502 times 1 minus 0.502 all over n. Well, I'm going to square both sides to get rid of that radical. So I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to leave that the way it is. It's 0.04. You'll see why in a minute. 0.046 squared is equal to 502 times 1 minus 0.502 all over n. Now if I just cross multiply, by the way, this is not necessarily the way I would have done this problem, but it is the way you can do it algebraically. Just had like a face twitch or something. I don't know what's going on. So 0.502 times 1 minus 0.502 is equal to n times 0.046 squared. Divide by 0.046 squared. So that's what you're going to put in your calculator. Come over to your calculator, and you're going to put in control division 0.502 times parenthesis 1 minus 0.502 all over 0.046 squared. It's the second time I did that. Forgot a decimal and get all kinds of 100 million. Yeah, I'm going to do 118,000. No. So you get 118.14. So minimally you would need 119 in order to get that, because 118 won't give you that. So you need minimally, I guess, 119. I guess you could go with 118. 119 would be the sample size that would give you at least that standard deviation. So how can I do this backwards the other way? I guess I would go Easiest way to do it is just go control division or control radical, control division, 0.0502 times 1 minus 0.0502 all over 119. If I plug that in, sorry kids, clearly using a calculator is not my strength. 0.05, and see, if you just plug in 119, you get 0.046. And so there you go. That's the answer. That's the easiest way to do it, is just to plug the answers. But you do need to know this formula. For some reason, New York State's not being nice to you. They are not going to give you this formula. So you do need to know that, and it is for a sample proportion, not a sample mean. Then you go from that question to this, oh my gosh, couldn't be any easier question. Independent events, if they are independent, all you have to do is multiply their probabilities. 0.3 times 0.2. Now don't be silly and say it's 0.6, because that's not the answer. 0.3 times 0.2 is 0.06. So that would have been dumb to find that, to get that one wrong. All right, in order for them to be real and rational, first of all, in order for it to be real, it has to be greater than or equal to 0. In order for it to be rational, it has to be a perfect square. What has to be a perfect square, you ask? The discriminant, b squared minus 4ac. Well, this is a, this is b, and this is c. So we're going to just do that. We're going to do b squared, which is 25, minus 4 times 2 times something, has to be greater than or equal to 0. And again, for it to be rational, it has to be a perfect square. So let's plug in 1. That would be 25 minus 8. That's not going to work. Let's type in negative 5. That's going to be 20. Let's do that one on the calculator. 25 minus 4 times 2 times negative 5 equals 65. Not a perfect square. Let's plug in 0. Well, if I plug in 0, that whole thing goes away and it becomes 25. That looks like it's the right answer. Let's just check 4, see what happens when we plug in 4. Times 4. And I get negative 7. That's imaginary. That's imaginary. That doesn't work. So there's the answer. There's the only one that will give us a perfect square. A cliff diver, otherwise known as a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Who the heck jumps off cliffs? I'm afraid of heights, by the way, just in case you're wondering. Given by that blah, blah, blah. So it's a parabolic curve. So here's what you got. You got this guy. He's up on top of a cliff. Hopefully there's some water down here. And he's going to jump up. He's going to jump up. And splash in the water. And notice it's a negative parabolic. It's a parabolic curve with a maximum, and the reason you know that is there's a negative in front. What's this guy's starting value? Apparently he must be 105 feet in the air, because at time 0, he is 105 feet in the air. So the question says, how many seconds to the nearest hundredth does it take the diver to fall 45 feet below his starting point? Well, if his starting point is 105, 45 feet below that would be 60. So we want to know, when is his height going to be 60? Now there's an easy way to do this and a hard way. You know I'm going to show you the hard way, but I'll also show you the easy way. So let's do it the hard way. I don't like having negative x squareds or t squared, so I'm going to move everything to the left side. So it's t squared, 16t squared, minus 5t, and then minus 45 equals 0. Now I'll solve that by using the quadratic formula. Negative b, 5, over 2a, 32, plus or minus, I don't know what the discriminant is. That's the part. Let's see, it's going to be 25 minus 16, excuse me, minus 4. Remember, the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac, right? That's an a. 4 times a times c, which is negative 45. I have no idea what that is. So 25 minus 4 times 16 times negative 45. Twitter is going off to his house. 2905. So if I type this in, control division 5 over 32, I guess I forgot the 5, plus control division, the square root of the previous answer divided by 32, I get 1.84 seconds. Woo! Is not the way I would do that problem. Let me show you the way I would do that problem. You still need to use your brain. So we're going to type in the original function, which is negative 16. You got to use x's. X squared plus 5x plus 105. There's the original function. Again, you want to be able to see it. You know you got to get up to at least 105. So let's go 150. 150. And we don't need that much. Let's go 5. So here's where we're gonna take off here. I don't need. Let's go about negative 20, just to kind of give a picture, and then press tab. Nope, this one. Don't need this. Negative 5. All right, so we get a good picture. So when is it going to be 45 feet below this? Well, I'm just going to tab. I'm just going to graph the line y equals 60. I don't care about this one. I care about this one right here, right where they point of intersection here. So menu, analyze the graph, intersection, click, click. There it is. 184, 60. That's when he's 45 feet below. There's the answer. All right, there's a couple different ways to do it. Oh my gosh, this one was a pain in the neck. There was 2 mistakes. I apologize profusely, and it was a lot of wasted time on my part anyway. Sorry about that, kids. Catch you all on the flip side. Bye.